Welcome friends to another r/malicious compliance video. If you want to feel good, make sure you hit that like button. And our first story of the day is by Tokyo Flex. Remake the Whole Order? You got it. Worked at a crazy popular restaurant with a huge outdoor deck on the ocean. It was a river leading to the ocean, but as we said in the South at the time, don't let the truth get in the way of a good story. This place was right next to the cruise ship terminal, so we'd literally watch thousands of people disembark and hundreds head for our restaurant at the same time. Needless to say, we'd be packed with a line out the door at these times. A group of 6 comes in, and we want to sit on the ocean. Okay, you and everyone else. I tell them it's a 30 to 45 minute wait, unless they want to eat indoors, which is quicker. They grumble, but they can see we're swamped and begrudgingly accept the pager I give them, insisting they need to sit on the ocean. You're willing to wait? No worries. I informed them that the ticket times right now are currently higher than normal, being that the cruise ship just dropped off hundreds of people. They say that's fine. Great. Hang out over here and I'll buzz you. 20 minutes go by and a younger lady with long and curly red hair from the group approaches me at the front desk, waving the pager around. Is this thing broken? This thing must be broken. We've been waiting an hour. No you haven't. We have Open Table, a reservation system that tracks your status in real time. I spin the computer around to show her that, in fact, you've been here literally 21 minutes, and you're going to have to wait at least 10 to 20 more minutes. She throws a minor hissy fit in front of some other guests in the lobby, but they're definitely not on Team Marita. Back to the waiting area she goes. We get them sat at a picnic table on the front water, prime real estate. It was about 40 minutes from when I quoted her, so I had 5 to spare. The rest of her group's happy with the spot and looks hungry and ready to order. I motion over their server, Leah, and say, let's get their order in quickly. Not good enough for her. She again complains that they waited an hour. Nope, 40 minutes, and that they should get free appetizers at the very least. Now me, I will always admit a mistake on our part and make it right, but we quoted her, gave her the best table possible, and still came in under time. This is business as usual. But sometimes I'm a nice guy and realize people are hangry, low blood sugar, and need some love. So I ask her, have you ever had she crab soup? She looks bewildered and shakes her head. I say, I'm gonna bring you some she crab soup. The group orders apps and entrees at the same time. Leah asks if they want her to bring it all together. No, they say, bring the apps first, then fire the entrees. Leah does just that, and it takes about 20 plus minutes for them to come up. Since we have a problem child, I run the apps personally. Put fried green tomatoes, crab cakes, and of course the delicious she crab soup on a tray. I run it out to them, drop the apps on the table, and like a scene in The Matrix, I watch one of Brave's curly red 10-inch hairs slow-mo fall from her own head into the bowl of soup I've just presented to her. She looks down and freaks the freak out. Your hair's in the soup. This is disgusting. You need to remake this entire order. Y'all, I'm bald. I shave my head every day. You could pluck your eyebrows while looking at the back of my head. As gently as I can, I tell her I watched her own flowing, luxurious lock fall into the soup and insist it's not mine. She's in an outrage, calling me a liar and insisting that I did this on purpose because I didn't like her. She demands I remake the entire order. The rest of the table's uncomfortable, sees she's in a mini rage world, and insists it's fine, let's just eat. Me? I say nope, yes ma'am, and I scoop everything off the table onto my tray. Apps, beverages, plates, silverware. Let's start over and hopefully we can get off on a new foot. By the way, I mentioned that ticket times were long as the cruise ship just docked, so it may be a while to get a new course of appetizers to you. We'll do our best, as busy as we are. I'll have some new beverages out to you as soon as Leia slows down. I go into my kitchen and tell my slam sous chef Brian that I needed a refire on that ticket. He's a loud and angry dude, and initially screams at me, but on the plus side, he's also incredibly vindictive. So when I tell him this one's about sending a message, he smiles and puts the ticket at the end of the line. 2 hours later, the table finished and left Leia a 30% tip. Guess who didn't pay the bill? Worst part of the story, she never got to try the she crab soup. You just have to know that everybody at that table's like, oh my god, come on redhead lady. We had our food delivered and you have to act like that and get it all taken away? If your friend's the one who acts up, would you be the one to still leave a really good tip for the waiter? Let me know in the comments down below. Our next story is by Beanish23, an end date for a pandemic? You got it. So this happened around midway through last summer. My office had been closed due to the pandemic, but we were all able to work from home. I'm an enterprise level IT for a county school system supporting all of the local districts. My entire job can be done from anywhere that I have internet. I've done it in hotels, vacation houses, my bed, anywhere. Anyway, so I think it was August. Our director decided she wanted to reopen the office. Our state was partially open for business by this point, but masks were, and were up until a few weeks ago, still required. The director's reasoning was that everyone's desk was more than 6 feet apart, and there were partitions between everyone, so let's get back to work. 2 problems. 1, my partner is severely immunocompromised, so I have to be extra careful with transmission of viruses because if she got sick, this was pre-vaccine, which is a whole different ballgame for the immunocompromised, she would be in real dire straits. 2, my desk was not 6 feet from my neighbor. It was about 3 feet unless I crowded into a corner of my cubicle behind a file cabinet. I went to HR with these concerns and they said, "No problem, I just need a doctor's note." Easy. My wife provides a note from her doctor regarding her situation. HR comes back, "Hey, this isn't your doctor." Right, because I'm not the one with a tanked immune system, it's my partner. Not good enough, it needs to come from my doctor. It's at this point that another problem with this whole situation comes up. 3, my crippling anxiety. I have really bad anxiety. Usually work is fine because it's something I do every day. But I haven't been there in a long time and now it's a health risk to my family, so I can't go back there. I started using my saved vacation time. I have a bunch since I wasn't going anywhere in a pandemic. No issues, my boss is fine, he's already got his doctor's note. So I call my shrink. Now, this guy just manages my medications. I deal with him once a month to discuss side effects. The real work happens with my therapist. My shrink says he's not familiar enough with my situation to write a note since he just started with the office 3 months ago. Great. I get a note from my therapist. Alright. Nope. HR comes back. "This isn't from a doctor." Dog. Now by this time I'm burning vacation time. I have a lot saved up, but geez. So I call my therapist in tears. She says she'll talk to the head prescriber since she can share my situation and then see if they'll write a note. More vacation time burned, head prescriber declined, stating they don't know the situation firsthand. By this time, I'm literally having panic attacks multiple times a day. My situation is really degrading. But hey, at least I'm home and safe. HR is completely unhelpful and downright shady at times. My partner is a lawyer specializing in disability law and writes a scathing letter calling him out for his bad faith statements and his leading me to believe one thing will work when it won't and then pulling the rug out. Needless to say, this causes my union president to get involved and things get heated. But our union does what it does and HR finally says, "We just need a doctor that you see to write a note because the director doesn't want anyone working from home and this is the only way you can enforce it." So I do what I probably should have done from the start. I call my GP. He says, "No problem. Letter's written and I sent it to HR. All set, right?" Nope. "This note has to have an end date." What? An end date for an as yet unvaccinated pandemic-inducing virus? "Yes, an end date. We need to have a reasonable expectation for you to be in the office." So my partner writes another scathing letter while I contact my doctor again. I explain I need an end date. The doctor says, "What? That's wild. What end date do you want? I'll give you as long as you want." So I ask for a year. By now, it's mid-September. I get the letter and send it out. HR accepts it, and I'm work from home until September 30th, 2021 at the earliest. I finally stop having panic attacks and sleep for the first time in a month. But there's more. After reading my partner's last letter, HR calls me again. Despite me stating in many emails that I was burning vacation time, at this point 24 days, he starts apologizing profusely. He thought I was working the whole time. Sure, he's clearly terrified. Word is that he, despite being a lawyer himself, called the organization's legal team and they read him the riot act. He refunded me all 24 vacation days that I spent in a panicked heap. And I still work from home, and with this Delta, I ain't going back soon. You know HR's messing up bad when you go to your doctor and you say you need a note with an expiration date and the doctor says, "Oh geez, okay, well how long do you want? I'll give you as long as you want." If the doctor's willing to give you as long as you possibly want on your doctor's note, you know there's gotta be a real problem somewhere. This next story is by Tato Sandwich. Chef, how long for that order? I've posted a few times about my work in a hotel. This is my last story of malicious compliance that I can think of worth telling. I was quite new to the hotel and very new to room service when this happened, so the chefs hadn't gotten to know me yet. I was waiting on an order, the only room service order, and the kitchen wasn't quiet. It wasn't busy, but there were a few orders queued up for the restaurant. I had been waiting for the order for maybe 7 to 8 minutes and had picked a couple of quick, easy jobs to do while I waited. Not wanting to start anything else in case I didn't have time, I approached the sous chef, Satish, at the window. I say, "How long for that order, chef?" They say, "Freak off." Something about the way he said it didn't cause me to instantly get pissed off. I was a bit confused and thought maybe he thought I was rushing him, so I asked again differently. "I'm just wondering how long I have before the order's ready?" They say, "I said freak off." Okay, now I'm pissed off. You want me to freak off? No freaking bother, mate. I walk over to the room service station, grab the trolley, and went up to the 7th floor in search of dirty room service trays. The building's shaped like a U, and the service elevator is smack dab in the middle of a U, so when checking the floors, you need to pick one direction and walk until near the end, as there's little alcoves designed to hide the trays so it looks less dirty, to an extent. So you need to walk one side, double back round to the elevator, and repeat for the other side. There's about 85 to 97 rooms per floor, so it's at least half a kilometer walked per floor. I walked all 6 floors that had rooms on them. Ordinarily, I would grab 4 to 5 trays and pop back down to clear them off, but freak that noise. I pile about 10 trays precariously until it looks like Wile E. Coyote's latest attempt to catch Roadrunner and take my Acme trolley back down. I arrive back downstairs a good 30 to 40 minutes later and can hear the echoes of this chef screaming, "Room service," half the hotel away. I stroll into the kitchen and walk towards the porter station to unload dirty dishes, and Satish finally spots me. "Where the freak have you been? I've been calling you for 20 minutes. I say, "I went to clear the floors. I asked you how long, and you wouldn't answer. I can't stand around all day for one order. I've got other stuff to do. If I ask and you tell me 10 minutes, I'll be back in 9. If you tell me 2 minutes, I won't even leave. I'll find something here. But if you tell me to freak off, I'll do whatever I deem to be urgent." Satish doesn't answer. I can see he's not happy, but he's thinking. The moment seems to drag on. Finally, he starts laughing. Didn't expect that. He turns around to the chef and says, "This is freaking ruined. I need a new one straight away." Turns back to me and politely says, "2 minutes." Now to push my luck, I unload the trays at breakneck speed and grab the new tray for this order and move to the window after 90 seconds. The fallout? Satish is actually a great guy, and we got on like a house on fire after that. He would always tell me how long, and we were actually the most efficient pairing. I have no idea why he was like that at the moment it happened, but he moved past it pretty quickly and was usually in a great mood. He would sing and dance when it was crazy busy to keep himself hyped up on adrenaline, and we had plenty of laughs before I moved on about 8 months later. Maybe they were used to not so qualified people working room service, or maybe they had a big ego that was humbled by OP. I don't know. And our final story of the day is by Garibaldi. Spicy salami pizza with hot peppers for your 3 and 5-year-old kids? As you wish. So I was working at an Italian restaurant in Central Europe. It was a bit touristy, but overall tried to stay true to original Italian recipes, including ingredients. One of the things my boss was proud of was the spicy salami from Italy where he grew up, as salami for the pizzas, so we only had those. Due to the fact that the chorizo was already quite spicy, we only had the pizza salami with added hot peppers for our spicy-loving customers, and no regular salami pizza, which would be common in other pizza places. Enter dude in his 40s, bald, polo shirt with a stand-up collar, and his 2 young kids around 3 and 5. "I want a pizza margherita, only cheese and sauce, for me, and a salami pizza for the boys." As a thoughtful waiter, I tried to warn him that our salami pizza is freaking hot and not suited for kids, which I did. Apparently that made him so angry that he started to yell at me as to what I was thinking to try and lecture him, what his kids can or cannot eat, and that I should basically shut my mouth and bring them their goddarn orders. So I did. Usually, I would at least tell the cook to leave the hot chili peppers when older kids want the pizza, but like heck I would do that for this jerk. So I brought them their pizza and stood at my station for 20 minutes to observe a father eating a margarita while forcing his 2 crying kids to eat a pizza that sometimes was too hot for adults. I even approached them to bring them something else, which the father angrily declined. This jerk didn't even think of swapping their pizzas. While writing this, I still feel sorry for the boys, not because of the pizza, but because of their father. Although it was maliciously complying against the father, you knew you were setting up a 3 and 5-year-old for torture by bringing them this pizza. I mean, I guess in the end there's not much you can do because the father was so adamant on getting this salami pizza. I feel bad for the kids in both directions, their mouths and their father. But with that being said, that's all the time we have for today. So of all these stories I've read today, which is your favorite and why? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you haven't yet, if you could like and subscribe, that would mean a lot to me. Whatever you do, whether it's liking, subscribing, turning notifications on, all of it helps grow this channel and I appreciate the heck out of it. So until next time, I'll see you all tomorrow with some more stories.